Y'all want a quick look at how Matt Ryan is building his team and why he's building it the way he building? He told y'all right up front. Take a listen to this
Falcons
right
this
here.
year.
Yeah, I think there's some nice pieces. I do. I think there's some guys to be optimistic and excited about. You mentioned, Bijan, and it's like he's such a dynamic player. One of 5 or 6 in the entire league that has the ability when the ball's in his hand at any time to be able to take it to the house. And so when you have a guy like that, you've got a chance on every snap. But I look at Drake and what he can become for us as a player. I think there's great upside there, and I think he'll continue to grow and improve. I like the signing of Jahan Dotson, a guy that, I'm a massive believer in depth, and I think Kevin Stefanski, Ian Cunningham, we're all aligned on that. It takes everybody. The best teams I was a part of had the best depth.
You're completing passes to 13 different guys in a game.
Yeah,
right?
yes, yeah. I just believe, of course you've got to have these premier players, but if you're going to be successful long term and you're going to be consistent year in and year out, depth is paramount. So when you add a guy like Jahan Dotson, who I'm excited about, I think there's untapped potential with him, and some of it is just the situations he was in, early on, and some of the places that he was. So I'm excited about what he can do. You add Zachariah Branch to it. He's a different skill set, something that's unique. I think that's always a good thing. Like, I think back to the wide receiver rooms that I was a part of, and I sort of like having different pieces. I sort of like having some guys that are bigger, possession guys like Finn, that
meaning not fast.
No. Your words.
I was old and broken.
No, but you need some guys that are like that. You need some different guys like a Taylor Gabriel or Aldrick Robinson, who I played with. Some different skill sets. Some guys who are different. Mohamed Sanu's, in my opinion, like, he's a really interesting comp to Drake. Drake can do some different things than he can outside, but his versatility to be able to move into the slot, like, you like guys that can add different pieces to what you do, and we're going to continue to search for that. But I'm optimistic. I'm excited about the group that we had, and then we're gonna continue to work to build depth through the roster. I think Ian is very diligent about that, and oftentimes we get to the draft and it's like, this is the player acquisition period, but honestly, it never stops.
Right.
And so, I think, as you were saying, what are the learning, pieces to you? The number of different opportunities that you have to acquire talent, the different ways that you can do it, the different ways you can add to your roster, and the attention to detail that takes.
Yeah, man. To break that down right quick, what he's saying, he can't. He's gonna, they're gonna go with the best option at whatever point that we're at when the preseason start, when the week 1 roll across. But what he's saying about the offense is the piece they build around. He's pretty much saying in so many words, as I said before, he's looking at the teams he's been a part of, how they built them teams, how those teams function at a high rate with a good function. Because you think about the 2012 team, me and A1 had a conversation about this off the air. The 2012 team, the way they were built, you had Roddy and Julio, you had Tony Gonzalez, then you had Mike Turner in 2012. Get to the Super Bowl team in 2016. You have a dual threat back in Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman, and both of those guys can catch the ball out the backfield. You had Jacob Tamme, who was an unsung hero on that team at tight end, a veteran. You had a strong offensive line. Matt was the quarterback. You had Julio and Mohamed Sanu and Taylor Gabriel. So if you look at that team and the way they built this team with Drake, with Kyle, with drafting Zachariah Branch, who would be a Taylor Gabriel type receiver in this offense, and then you add Jahan Dotson, who he talks about, a receiver that's been on the Eagles. Let me see, the Eagles and the Redskins or Commanders or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, I call them.
So when you look at the dynamic of how he's building his offense, he's building it exactly to what he's used to, what he know works, what he know can be successful. All he had to do was get an offensive play caller, offensive minded guy in here to run that same system as to what he ran with Kyle Shanahan. Now he has Kevin Stefanski, Tommy Reese, and Alex Van Pelt to implement that system that he wants to get sufficiency out of this offense out of. So I think he's doing the right thing by building this offense close to what he knows and what he knows can be successful. He said it. You got about 5 or 6 teams that, or 5 or 6 players that can take it to the house as soon as they touch it. But John is one of those guys, and you have about 5 to 6 teams on offense that can put up points any given Sunday. So you want to be a part of that conversation. So when you look at what he's saying, it just makes total sense as to how he's building this offense from quarterback to offensive line to skill positions.
Man,
so
y'all drop
I
y'all
absolutely
comments in the
love it.
comment box. Let's debate. Let's have fun as always, man. Y'all know how we do it on the Sports Machine. This your boy Antoine Smith signing off. I will holler at y'all soon, man. Peace.